what a beautiful day it is today, and what a beautiful graveyard it is, and what a perfect setting to talk about me coming back to the old tube and why I chose to do that. Oh, it's a squirrel, and he's so cute. That's what I get to look at, and y'all have to look at me. I am lucky. I tend to cut parts of myself off and banish them into the abyss before they can tell me what they are supposed to tell me, or before I can let them get me down. And this YouTube channel definitely was started by a past version of me. It's so easy every day for myself to wake up and be like, I'm a brand new person. The past doesn't matter. I'm gonna get rid of all of my shit and travel across the country on a motorcycle without the ability to ride a motorcycle, without a motorcycle, and without the funds to do that. I just am a dreamer. What can I say? I dream big. Part of being a dreamer and someone who dreams big and really wants to believe in themselves and are a creative is it's hard to have long-term plans and goals set in place. It's really easy to get distracted, and when things don't go your way, because there's so many other ideas out there that you could just pull from in the ether, those seem more appealing. There's also the sense of the self-hatred of it all. I think for the longest time, especially when I was first making YouTube videos on this channel, I kind of low-key hated myself. I felt that I needed to be many certain things in order to be seen by anybody. I felt like I needed to be thin. I felt like I needed to be beautiful, aesthetically pleasing in the eye of society. I felt like I needed to be articulate and have the best production value that was ever out there, that could ever be seen. And I felt like I needed to have all the hot takes and kind of be perfect at all of those things. And if I ever slipped, it felt like the biggest defeat ever. It just felt like the fucking worst, like the biggest failure out there that I could possibly have been. I love that younger version of me. I feel bummed that they felt like they weren't good enough, because they totally were. And they were like I was super into what they had to say. Now, when I look back, some of it's still a little cringe, but like every day I say things that I cringe at, you know, like that's just kind of a part of being me. And that's kind of just part of being human in general. I've talked about this. I left YouTube because I kind of feel, you want to come closer, huh? I don't have any food for you, but you are very cute. Bye. Wow. Critters aren't afraid of me. I'm just a woodland babe. I started that YouTube channel kind of as a means to an end. It was sort of like, I'm gonna do this, not because I necessarily want to, but because I think I would be good at it, and because I think the only thing that people would be interested in me would be my crazy, wacky past. What I have to offer now is nowhere near as interesting as the most terrible things that happened to me. And at the same time, while I was telling these stories about what happened to me, what life was like, all the things I wasn't able to do as a kid, it was like reinforcing that very ideology that didn't make me feel good, which was I'm not really anything without these things. I'm not really worth people's attention or taking up space, especially as like a content creator, unless I'm doing something that's salacious, which the only thing that I could think of at the time was like doing porn or talking about my fundy past. And doing porn was just like not an option. I knew kind of deep down that like that probably wouldn't really make me feel good in the long run. I mean, trust me, I thought about it. But yeah, I mean, basically that wasn't really an option for me. So I was like, well, this is the only other way I can be interesting to other people. So I started doing that. I started making these videos that centered around my past, and the more that I did it, the more that I hated it. And I really didn't do it very much. I did like very little, but it seemed like people enjoyed it, and it felt like a confirmation of what I had always thought, which was, I'm not interesting, my trauma is interesting. Which is totally not true, and not giving people a chance to actually see me for who I am and decide for themselves. And it also wasn't giving me a chance to reach wider audiences of people who might not really give a fuck about my trauma, but actually might be interested in what I have to say when I'm cooking or going on a walk or ranting in the graveyard or, whatever the hell it is that I do. Being a creative means you have an innate sense of imposter syndrome because you really have these grand ideas, and there's no way that little old me, can make those things happen. But really, what I started this YouTube channel as originally was a means to an end. And the more that I did my means to an end, the more that I did my means to an end, the more that I felt like I was selling out. And the more that I got really resentful of not just like the content that I was creating, but the community that I was building. And that is a really toxic place to be in, especially as someone who is like new to content creation. I was like, this is hell. This is all that it is. There's nothing good about this. People like it when I'm, kind of like publicly humiliating myself is sort of what it felt like. Now, looking back, it's way less deep than that. It was really not that big of a deal at all. Totally not. The people that I was spending time with, my friends at the time, really had no concept of what an evangelical cult was like, and it was really salacious to them. And so not only was I, in my mind's eye, getting value from being kind of like a circus freak on YouTube, I also was feeling that way in my personal life. So it was kind of like a double whammy of feeling like selling out not only in my own life, but also in the public sphere. And that's tough. That's hard to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing your experience with other people and in a public space. It's just sort of like, do you want to do that? And if I was really being honest at the time, the answer would have been absolutely no. Absolutely not. I really didn't. And I kind of knew that too at the time. And so the resentment was not at YouTube or at the people who were coming to see what this channel was about. That's kind of what you want as a content creator, people to engage with your content and take interest in it and ask questions and be curious. That's like the best thing that a content creator could have. Honestly, for lack of a better word, I felt humiliated for continuing this channel that never really felt right to begin with. I mean, love the name. Jesus is my girlfriend. That's pretty fun. I like that. So why did I come back to this channel? I really do want to create content. I really do want to be a full-time YouTuber at some point this year. That's my goal. I really do want to get out of my corporate hellscape job. Not that being a content creator does not come with corporate hellscape attachments, but it definitely provides a different type of life that is a lot more conducive to what I want to do. And I just want to be making more things. I want to be in more of an expansive mindset. I want to be free to act, to write scripts, to bring people in that I know who could act in content that I want to create. I want to talk about things that are constructive and helpful and positive, not in a toxic positivity way, but in a way that is adding something great to the world, or maybe not even great, but just something that's helpful. At the same time of wanting to change the way that I show up in this space, I also want to pay homage to my younger self. And I want to unsever the tie that I had severed and tie it back and be like, you are a part of me. The version of me that was seeking validation in places that were not going to give me what I was really looking for. The part of me that felt like a sellout but did it anyways because I really, really wanted to pursue my dreams, even if it wasn't like a joyful way. The part of me that really hated myself, hated that my past was the way that it was and was sharing it anyways. All of that complex version of myself, I want to love. And I don't want to pretend like that never happened, even though for so long I did. I want to fold it all back into my life to where I am now. I'm sure in 5 years, what I want is going to change. The way that I want to show up is going to change. My impulses are going to be different. What I'm drawn to is going to be different. But what I really hope I don't change in 5 years is my commitment to loving myself and my commitment to bringing in all parts of me and saying there are no bad parts. The only way out of the labyrinth is to forgive yourself, your younger self, whether that is yesterday's self, a year ago self, or 10 years ago self. You have to forgive all of those parts. There was one person who commented, like, this really reminds me of parts work, and I was like, yes, that is exactly what I was trying to do, because I want to envelop the younger version of myself and be like, I have your back. And I know that 5 years from now, self is doing that for me right now. And each version of me now, in the future, and back then are all valid. They're all good. There's nothing wrong with them. They're different. They struggle with different things, but there's nothing wrong with them. I'm choosing to have my human experience publicly, and I think there's power in that. And I'm choosing to not cut parts of myself off and banish them into oblivion and pretend like they didn't exist. They do exist, and they inform our present. The past informs our present, and our present informs the future. So everything's connected, baby. My future self deserves my commitment, you know? Yeah. I have a lot of goals and desires. And what I realized over the 2.5 years of me not creating on YouTube, there were moments during those 2.5 years where I was really leaning into my art, but there was this piece that was still calling me back. That was like, you have that YouTube channel and you were really enjoying that, and you still fantasize about what it would be like to do YouTube full time, and you still have all of these ideas, and you're just telling yourself that they're not good ideas, and they're fucking great ideas, and I can't wait to share them with you. I can't wait to collaborate with this community on what can we do next. I can't wait to collaborate with other creators. I can't wait to write more scripts and do more skits that are more elaborate and have deeper meanings. Yeah, I want people to see what that process is like. I have faith. I genuinely have faith. I'm going to reach the goals that I set for myself, and that I'm going to build the type of community that I am so excited about. I guess that's all I got to say. That's why I'm back. I'm back to do what I couldn't before. I'm back to love myself. And by loving myself, I hope to love others better. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.